Welcome to the Overtly Disagreeable podcast where two assholes talk about nothing. We are your hosts. I'm Ken and this is Shane.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, fuck. That new black female, I was going to say James Bond, but it's not James Bond, 007.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you said you thought it was
Well, I had the initial assumption that it was just going to be a character replacement for James Bond, although there's already been like that kind of meta talk that James Bond's always been a moniker.
oh,
Like
what do you mean?
the position of 007 is always James Bond.
Oh,
Like
really?
kind of like what you're saying,
I
but
didn't know.
but they're making more of a point maybe now that 007 is a designation and James Bond just happened to be this guy that has been alive for like 40 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could have started with him.
Or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
But then now the torch has been passed.
I guess so. I mean, I kind of wanted like when they were talking about like Idris Elba being James Bond.
He would have been a good fit.
I was like, I'm down for that. So if they're gonna change it for that and they're gonna change it for this, I don't see too much of a difference. They'll just be a female James Bond.
Yeah. Well, let's be clear. It's female 007 because like James Bond hands over the.
I suppose.
Or I mean, I don't know if he hands it over. Maybe he dies and somebody else hands it over to her. But
well, until we see a character name, it's gonna be female James Bond probably off the top of my head for a long time.
Yeah. Well, female. I didn't as James Bond. I didn't like that character being replaced because like I've mentioned to you, like I think privilege is part of his character.
Okay.
Despite that he's a giant asshole.
Yeah.
But as passing on the torch, like the 007 torch sort of thing, I think it works a lot better. However, I just think that they're going to turn the character into like this perfect woman who's like doing everything, for noble reasons and shit. Like not like James Bond. Like James Bond is an asshole.
No, but he's saving the world.
He's saving the
Still
world, but
man.
he himself is not a good person. Like he's very much like the bad guys, but he works for.
That's just the fact that they have the like legal designation to do whatever the fuck they want. It breeds an asshole behavior. There's nothing that says that this lady can't be a fucking bitch too.
No, and I'm hoping she is, but I have a feeling because the writers are like super social justice-y that they're gonna turn her into like this perfect like person, somebody who does everything for the right reason.
So I'm telling you, they're gonna make her a lesbian or like partial like bi, and then she's gonna have a drinking problem. That's all it's gonna
be. That would make a better character than some person.
Yeah, but that's what they're gonna do like for depth. They're gonna give her a glass with scotch in it.
That one glass of scotch is gonna be her drinking problem.
No, it's gonna be like the entire movie's gonna be like that. Anytime she gets off a mission, does something like angry and beats the shit out of some people or kills some people, it's gonna be glass of scotch.
I just want to see her like, I don't know, have sex just for the sole reason of getting off and not like wanting to please anybody.
You should watch Atomic Blonde then.
Is that what that's about?
Well, it's not just that, but it's a not lesbian. She's a female James Bond type person, and there's a lesbian sex scene.
Okay.
So
yeah,
that's basically, and she does it not to get information. She's already working with this other agent.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's just for the
sex. Mutual like poon getting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, we'll see what happens. Like I said, I think that they're gonna. I very strongly suspect that they're just gonna turn her into like just a morally virtuous kind of woman.
I mean, it's possible, but
which I think would be real shitty.
Have they announced anything other than? Is this even confirmed?
As far as I know, it is.
Okay, so have they announced anything else other than the fact that it's going to be a female 007?
No, nothing else. Yeah. So I mean, we'll see.
It's not much to go off of. I mean, whatever. It's going to be what it's going to be. I mean, nobody bitching about Last Jedi has managed to change anything about Last Jedi. So
fair enough. Yeah.
It's still going to be the way it is.
And everyone kind of saw that train wreck coming a mile away.
I don't know. I didn't see it because I didn't watch any of the trailers.
Everyone...
But the guy that was the director for that movie is fairly well known for doing good movies.
Oh.
Remember, we watched in high school. Do you remember Brick?
I do remember Brick. Brick was really good.
Same director.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Looper.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So
I mean, I didn't watch the second Star Wars movie. I didn't watch Looper. So... No, you didn't watch Looper?
No.
I swear we saw that together.
No.
Oh, okay. I must have seen it with somebody else.
It looks super like generic and lame, but apparently it's half decent.
It's half decent is accurate. Yeah. It's not great.
Yeah.
And the time traveling thing is okay, but not amazing.
I mean, Brick was pretty good, but I can't really tell you what happens in it, other than sad stuff.
Yeah, it's a sad movie.
But I mean, I
guess.
remember it being pretty decent. But
Yeah, I remember really enjoying it. I remember thinking it was fantastic. But yeah, I don't know.
But Last Jedi got me salty a little bit.
Yeah, I still have yet to see that
Oh,
movie.
you haven't? Have you seen Force Awakens?
I've seen Force Awakens.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many of the new ones have you seen?
Just I saw Force
Jeez.
Awakens and I saw the one
Rogue
starring.
One?
Was it that Jyn Erso?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Rogue One.
But you didn't
I
see
enjoyed.
Solo.
Yeah, I enjoyed Rogue One.
Yeah, I thought Rogue One was pretty good too.
Yeah. Despite that, like, it got a lot of criticisms.
It's just
but,
a little, like, a small part of the Star Wars universe. And
Yeah.
it's nice to see how things came together, you know what I mean? It's
pretty much.
And
Yeah.
it's got a lot of fan service in it. It knows what it's trying to be. I think it looks... I thought Rogue One was pretty good.
Yeah. But, I mean, I guess you and I are in the minority then. I guess
I
we're
guess so.
minorities now.
I feel like most people said Rogue One was pretty good.
Oh, really? Almost everyone that I've talked to said they didn't like it.
Try to look up Metacritic scores?
Sure, if you want to. I'm sure it's not going to be great.
I mean,
So
maybe.
Are you going to look at the Metacritic critic scores or the user scores?
Well, I mean, if they're both there, then...
I think Metacritic does both, right? Like,
Yeah.
it has a user score and a critic score. And there was
Solo.
yeah.
Did you watch Solo? I can't remember if you were there at that one.
Which one is Solo?
Han Solo movie?
Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah. No, I didn't watch that one. That just looked like dog shit. There was no way I was gonna watch that.
Yeah, it was kind of lame. Like, him getting the name Solo is the most, like, lame
I heard
shit.
that it was really anticlimactic. Like, they should have just never done anything.
This is so lame. Too many options, and I can't find it right now.
This is, I don't know. There's
IMDb.
a million fucking Star Wars franchises.
Okay, here we go. IMDb. Metacritic gives it a 65.
It's a lot better than I thought it would get.
And
You're looking at Rogue One, right?
Yeah. And then there's other ones from, like, the Hollywood Reporter, Telegraph, and stuff like that. All of those ones are, like, 70 or above.
70 or above.
Like, 80s and stuff like that.
Huh. I guess it was rated pretty good then.
I mean, it's pretty decent. I mean, I'll try to look up what Solo is, but I feel like Solo got
Solo,
more...
I think Solo got, like, dog shit rating. I remember, like, rotten scores from Rotten Tomato.
If we both agree that that's probably the case, then let's look up Last Jedi.
Last Jedi was the second movie from the new series, right?
Yeah. Metacritic gives it an 85.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you fucking serious? Is that critic score or user score? Does it say?
Critic reviews.
Oh my fucking god.
Based on 56, so that's the average. That means that someone gave it like a high 90 and someone gave it a low 60.
That's so fucking weird. I have not heard anyone say anything good about that movie.
User score? Is the user score out of 5 or out of 10?
From Metacritic?
Yeah.
I believe it's out of 10, because I think Metacritic goes on a 10-point scale.
Okay, so user reviews is 4.4.
Yeah, okay, wow, that's a huge fucking divide.
Yeah, 50% of them are negative reviews, 36 are positive, and 13 at this point of our recording are mixed reviews.
See, that's 13% closer to what I would think.
Yeah, exactly. I would say most people, oh man, user reviews 0, 1, 0, 1, 3, 0, 7.
But the critics love the movie?
Some people loved it. Some dude in a different country, he gave it a 10.
Jesus Christ.
This movie doesn't. This movie absolutely doesn't deserve all the hate it's getting. Super polarized fan gives it a fucking 10.
Oh, okay. That's
not
bullshit.
An opinion. That's a response to other people being salty.
That's a response review. Have you seen The Orville at all?
No, I haven't. But I heard it's good enough that they gotta renew for a second season.
Yeah. Well, the second season is over, I think.
Or third season, I guess.
It's got like the opposite problem of that, where like the critic scores are insanely low, like around 20 to 30,
really?
or at least when it came out was like that. But the user scores like were in the high 90s.
Nice.
Yeah, so people are just like, the critics are fucking retarded.
Yeah, it's the only thing I don't like about not having cable. So I'm still missing out on some shows.
Well, I mean, I just pirate everything.
Yeah, I know. You ass pirate everything.
Yeah, I ass pirate everything. So, fuck, man, how was your week?
Pretty good, actually. Work was nice. It was just like a really smooth work week of, like, all the problems that normally happen are still there, but they're not actually directly affecting my work or cutting down on the amount of hours that I'm getting and stuff like that. So I'm just doing work, and then as I complete work, new work shows up just in time, and it's all like pretty easy going.
So nice even pace.
Yeah, it's a nice even pace. I got to go like leave on Friday a couple hours early because I finished up all my work. So I mean, not that work is the most exciting thing, but it was nice that it was not aggravating.
Jesus Christ, you should be on salary.
Well, yeah, I know, but then they'd lose more money on having to pay me more probably,
Mm.
and then I would lose out on the ability to be like, no, I don't want to work weekends.
Okay, I mean, fair enough.
Yeah,
But
which I like my bargaining chip for that. Also,
Mhm.
if I do salary, then I'm fucked if I want to go back to school.
Yeah, you are.
Right?
Well, I guess you could go hourly at that
I
point.
could go, but then that would be a pointless thing to do now.
Yeah, I get
And
what you're
I
saying.
could argue for it now, but whatever.
You're planning to go back to school fairly soon.
I'd like to, yeah, but I keep putting it off.
What would you do?
Well, I told you, it's been the same plan the whole time. I haven't changed my plan. Yeah,
Psychology? That's
some
all I
degree of
remember.
it. Yeah, it
Yeah.
would be for psychology, and yeah, I got to take like a whole bunch of proficiency exams. I got to take like an English exam.
Oh, yeah.
Like the first 3 year couple steps or so, it's like sign up for an account at the school,
Okay.
and then take the English proficiency exam, and
Okay.
then I have to do course selection.
Fuck, that's... Well, the English exam is kind of bullshit, but alright.
Yeah, it's annoying, and I've been very discouraged, even though I went like the end of last year to check to see all that information.
No, I'm sure it's only going to get harder.
Yeah, and more annoying, so I'm
Yeah.
not looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm very discouraged.
Well, fuck psychology anyways. It's a
No,
bullshit degree.
No, yeah, I want an actual degree in psychology, not just take the first 2 years of it. And
No,
then
well,
call it for
even the
credits.
full 4 years is a bullshit degree.
Well, no, it's gonna be 8 years
Oh,
because
you
I'm
mean
gonna go past bachelor's.
you're going to go to the master's degree?
Yeah,
and
obviously,
then
I'm gonna make a
PhD?
career out of it. That's what I
Yeah,
said. I'm not
okay,
gonna get a
you-
bullshit
yeah.
degree. I'm not gonna take the first 2 years of psychology and say I did just for credits.
Yeah.
I'm taking. It's bullshit that I have to take a bunch of other courses. I have to take. They were
Yes,
listing them off.
you have to take a bunch
There's
of
like
others.
3 actual psychology courses I need to take. One
Yeah.
that's like loosely related, and everything else is like a math, science, like a other thing and another
I'm
thing.
trying to think. Let's see. I want to say you have to take 1, 2, 3. Because I did the first 2 years. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of, I think, like the 20 courses you have to take are psychology. And the rest of them are going to be math, language, or science.
Yeah, which I've fucking am annoyed about.
Hmm. And then there's that really... What was that? There's that supposedly hard psych course. I forgot. It's like the stats one.
See, again, I'm probably gonna be fine at doing the psychology stuff. It's gonna be having to do the language and the math and the other bullshit. That's gonna be the annoying distraction. That's gonna put me off of wanting to go to school.
I think there's substitutes for languages. Like, I think you can take sociology courses instead of language courses. Because I did something like that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I always remember the one where I was auditing with you for a bit, with psychology, and there was that math course that wasn't really math. It was like conversation and like speech, but it like what would
It's
you
like
say?
argument. It's like argumentation, but it's brought. It's you're not actually arguing points in that class. You're just giving arguments like a certain value,
Yeah.
and then moving those values around, something
And,
like that.
like playing with like stats into a math equation. Which
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting.
It's interesting. It's just like by the end of that semester, there was only like me and 2 other students left. Like everyone
Really?
else had dropped out.
Dude, that was like interesting. I was totally on board with that shit because it's all hypothetical. Like,
It's super hypothetical,
Yeah.
super like metaphysical
Yeah.
stuff, and like I failed the course, but I want to say only one person passed the course. It's
50% success rate. 1 out of 2
50%?
people that finish this course will fail it.
What are you talking about? No, it's 50% because either you pass or fail.
Well, yeah. But I was saying because you were one of 2 people.
I was
and
one
you
of
failed.
3 people that
Oh,
made it to
okay.
the end. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was only me. There was this one girl, and I forgot like one other dude, and I'm pretty sure she failed it as well.
Okay.
And that dude ended up passing.
All right.
That was probably the most difficult course I had ever taken.
Really?
Yeah. It's just like it's so difficult to wrap your mind around what they're doing.
Yeah, all the concepts because it completely deconstructs
Yeah.
everything to its barest bones.
And it's like in a way that you've never really been taught before.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was interesting because it's like a unique concept. It's probably never even like it's applicable in the sense that it's the equations that you're breaking down for speech of any kind, but it's not at all applicable in actual reality because who the fuck talks like that?
Well, I'm sure if you're good at it, you can apply like that same skill set to other things, and be able to break down not arguments but what people are saying, and in a certain
Their
way.
intent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Like I mean, I don't know. I think most of psychology is bullshit, especially nowadays when the fucking what's this? I have a degree in psychology and I forgot what their main guidebook is called, but it's very politicized. Like it's a very liberal guidebook.
Oh, I'm drawing a huge blank.
I can't
Is it from
remember.
like a famous author that I
No,
should?
no, not from a famous author. It's basically like the psychology handbook,
Oh,
right? So like if you need to diagnose anything, you go to that handbook,
oh,
you flip through to where that diagnosis would be, and you choose. And then if the person has like 3 out of the 5 characteristics, then you diagnose them as that
oh.
thing.
Is it the DSM-5?
Yeah, there we go, the DSM. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah. So, it's a very like liberal and politicized like book.
Okay, that's
Like
hilarious because
it's
I remember the DSM thing from Jordan Peterson saying it so many fucking times, and
yeah,
he
because
is
he doesn't like it
yeah.
anymore.
Oh, it's okay. I
He
guess that's a good
doesn't he
point.
doesn't agree with what its definitions.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it'd be kind of neat if Jordan Peterson released his own like handbook with like.
So up his own ass. I'm gonna redefine psychology,
Well,
the
yeah,
modern era.
I feel like it's good to have. It'd be good to have more than one book to choose diagnosis from, because like then not all the definitions are coming from one place. Like
I agree with
you've competing definitions.
I agree with the sentiment that you're trying to get with the multiple idea of handbooks, but that totally opens up the fact of like pseudosciences having their own handbook.
Well,
That
I
is
mean,
followed
okay,
by
fair enough.
certain.
But Jordan Peterson is
I
like,
know, but
he's established.
that's how it starts though, because that's
Mhm.
the whole point of a unified book that all psychologists or the psychology profession like works around and
Mhm.
refines and makes better, like putting new papers in for, is that it's vetted in by the community that's running the
I mean,
organization.
technically, like you're technically right, but like there's multiple different like dictionaries. There's like an Oxford dictionary, and there's like a Cambridge
I wonder
dictionary,
what the difference is with those
and
dictionaries,
they come at it from different points of view, but I don't really
like
know what it is.
culturally.
Yeah, culturally or historically, they might choose like different avenues to take to define something.
Oh, okay.
One might do like how it's used. The other one might go with what it should be. I don't fucking know, but
Or what was it originally used for?
yeah,
Okay.
I'm not entirely certain. Merriam-Webster is another one, but they're all like super established.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like
But I
they're
mean, words of like it's how my view of words. It's like they're
Mhm.
very malleable,
Yeah,
so it makes
yeah.
more sense.
Well, words
Psychology
change.
concepts. If someone says schizophrenic, it's not too malleable. They're
Yeah,
fucking schizophrenic.
but the definition of
I guess
how you
within.
define
I was
schizophrenia.
gonna say
Yeah.
within schizophrenia, there's
Yeah.
probably multiple definitions of
Yeah.
it.
I mean, fucking even like I remember the one I remember being most confused about, and don't ask me to tell you the difference because I don't know the difference.
What's the difference?
But is stuff like bulimia and anorexia, because there's like 4 different kinds.
Mm.
There's bulimia anorexia. What is it? Bulimia nervosa anorexia, something like that. I can't remember.
Okay, they're all just like play
It,
off.
it's the switching around of the words. So there's bulimia, there's bulimia anorexia,
Okay.
there's anorexia bulimia.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't fucking know the difference of any of this shit, but I remember there was a difference at one point.
But not enough to actually remember the difference.
No, I couldn't. They all towed the same line, so fucking whatever.
Okay.
I didn't do too much this week. I was working mostly. I was looking at a lot of fucking Area 51 memes, trying to figure out what might happen when they actually go there.
I don't think enough people are gonna show up.
Well,
And then they're probably gonna get like corralled by the police and be like, "Listen, you're not allowed to go."
I'm just trying to think of, like, I don't know what literally or not what objectively might happen. Even objectively isn't the right word. What might actually happen? So what I suspect will happen is there's going to be like a bunch of food vendors there, and it's just going to turn to like one giant party,
I mean, maybe.
and like people are just going to be outside of Area 51, and then it's just going to become like a yearly thing. Like that's what I kind of think is going to happen.
Okay.
And then like 2 years from now, some bigwig is gonna just like try to buy the event and then just ruin it, and then nobody goes there anymore.
Yeah, sounds about right.
But then I've had other thoughts. Like I think if the government, first of all, I don't think there's aliens in Area 51, but if there's anything secretive, chances are it's already been moved out because of this meme.
Yeah, I had a feeling that would be the case.
Yeah,
Too.
and I suspect the government's just gonna just let them in and just being like, hey, look at all our stuff. This would be a good opportunity to use propaganda for everyone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just like trying to just think of what might actually happen there. But my leaning theory is the party thing, where there's just gonna be like
It's gonna be nothing, and there's gonna be a party.
there's gonna be a party. People are gonna sell shirts, food, and there's gonna be a bunch of people just like camping around and having a good time.
I mean, that's totally possible. I
Yeah.
wouldn't put it past people.
Yeah.
I mean, Burning Man was a protest, and now you have to pay to get in.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
So
Although Burning Man makes sense, you have to pay to get in because people people put in a lot of hard work to make Burning Man work.
oh yeah, but I mean,
But
it's a protest that is organized with the police. So what are you
yes.
protesting?
Well, it's still protesting the man, the government. They're probably gonna like design it like Donald Trump soon, the man.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah. But I mean, I know Burning Man doesn't have any advertisements
No.
or anything. I think it technically, if you're a company like Dasani or whatever, you're allowed to go there. You're allowed to give like your own water bottles, but you're not allowed to have like a big advertisement that says Dasani anywhere.
Well, the whole point of Burning Man is that it's all community based, so it's whatever you bring in, and it's all like bartering.
Yeah, like
and
people
trading.
trade with each other or
Yeah.
give shit out for free.
Pretty
Oftentimes
much.
people just give
Yeah,
shit
it's
out
usually
for
just
free.
trading by giving, hey, you got some free stuff.
Yeah.
I give you some free stuff.
Yeah, but it's I mean, from what I've seen, it's pretty fucking intense. Like the storms at night and fucking, I don't know. A lot of people are just always hungry because they don't bring enough food and they have to go to places and just
I hear
get
it's
free shit.
pretty good. Like that people come pretty well prepared, and like it's a huge community thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And everyone's pretty nice to each
very
other.
it's very chill and everyone's self-sufficient. But like as a community, it's very odd.
I
Say
think
it's like a completely different world going to Burning Man.
a lot of people like to use that as a way like how the overall society should run, and I'm just like, it's not a permanent
ideal,
solution.
but it's
ideal.
unlikely to work on a large scale. That's the problem. Is like we're still fucking idiot cavemen. We like living in our tribe. So like if you only have 20 people around you, everything's good and you can make communism work. But when you have like 300 million in one state, you kind of have some problems with people having a difference of opinion of where you should spend that money.
And it's a difference of needs too. Like people don't need the exact same thing. Like communism kind of just divvies out proportions exactly.
Yeah,
to the
it's
same
assuming
level.
that everyone's living in the exact same standard, which I mean, I guess would be okay if everyone was living above average, but usually with communism, that's not the case.
No, it isn't. There's one person who lives above average. And
the worst thing of communism is always the fact that humans are fallible and are pieces of shit. And even if you have one good person, like Hugo Chavez in fucking Venezuela, he was like loved and he did a great, like a quote unquote great job with communism. As soon as he dies, someone else is like, man, that looks pretty good. I could totally abuse the shit out of that.
Yeah. Hugo Chavez was pretty fucking good, yeah. Did I tell you I had a friend who grew up in communist Poland?
No.
Okay, so I had this friend. She grew up in Poland when as she was young. It was a communist country.
Okay, what year can you roughly say? Was she like our age?
She's a little bit older than us.
Okay, so it'd be like 85.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
You could say around the 80s,
right.
Before 89 at least.
Yeah.
And she was telling me how the way like the system worked was that every day people would go to this like one government building and the government would hand out tickets to them. So the tickets would be good for like liquor, bread, I don't know, various grains or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it, I think. Maybe one entertainment thing. I don't know.
Okay.
And so she was saying everyone got like the exact same amount of these tickets. And some people like wanted more liquor tickets, so they would save up, let's say 2 bread tickets. For 2 days they wouldn't get bread, right?
Yeah.
And then they would go to somebody else and trade their 2 bread tickets.
Yeah, I mean that's
for one
whatever. That's what you do with your vouchers if that's what you want to do with them.
Yeah. So in my mind, as she was telling me that, I'm just like, holy shit, within this communist system, a capitalist system was born.
Yeah.
Because like something was value more than the other.
It's because people have individual perspectives on what's important to them. Some people want to get drunk and not have to worry about what's going on, and some people like bread.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Some people have a family to feed, so they need more bread. Somebody doesn't have a family to feed, so one thing of bread will last him a while. He can just trade his fucking bread ticket for alcohol. So yeah, that was just a little story that I wanted to share because I just thought it was funny how like I said, within communism, capitalism was born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's no real good answer for an alternative government. I mean, that's not to say that capitalism solves all the problems. Let's just dust our hands off and call it a day. But there's a certain level of like, it's worked and been successful.
Yeah.
It's kind of been fucked because people are fucked like usual. They fuck with the
Yes.
system and cheese it.
But that would happen within the communist system
Yeah.
as well.
It would happen with pretty much any system that's not a dictatorship, in which case it's already happening because it's a dictatorship.
Somebody was telling me how like I mean, you've probably heard this yourself, that they want like an anarchist system where like
Yeah,
everyone's just free. And
Good
I'm,
luck
like
with that.
in my mind, I'm just like, the person who just takes up the most resources is just going to control everything in that.
There's a
like,
possibility, or the biggest and the strongest, or
yeah,
whatever.
like it's not going to be total anarchy forever. It's gonna end up turning into a dictatorship. I would imagine
Or
fairly
just
quickly.
it's gonna be tribal, where everyone's in their groups where they know that they have like, you know how it's like you would like, not you in particular, but some people would be like, they have a large family, so if they get in trouble, they go and get all their brothers and their cousins.
Yes, yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it'll devolve into. It'll be like small communities of 20 to 30 people who all watch each other's backs and then have their little like.
Even then, I'd imagine like whatever community would end up being the biggest would have more control over the smaller ones.
I
So, like,
suppose, but like again, if it's more anarchist, then there's going to be like, well, if that guy's getting too big, then we should all group together,
Yes,
just
and
beat their ass, and then go our separate ways.
something like that might
You know what I
happen.
mean?
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
the idea. But I think when people say shit like that, and I have a point that I want to go to after this, so remind me if I go off on too much of a tangent. But people who want that like anarchist society, I guarantee you 99% of them don't have kids or don't have any intention of wanting to have kids, because I'll tell you this much. Fuck raising a family in anything but a stable economy and stable
I know,
society.
right? Yeah, no,
like
it's
people
damn
who
near
are like
impossible.
asking for the downfall of capitalism.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
do you really want to live in that? Because I don't. This is going pretty all right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there are some issues that are undeniable, but there's certain levels of like, we're not like devolving into shit and like murdering people in the street. I think we're doing pretty
We're
good.
doing all right.
We're doing all right. Like,
Yeah.
we can do better for sure, way better. But this is a certain level of plateau we've hit that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean we're still. I feel like we've only been getting better because of capitalism. I mean, as much as I don't even like capitalism, but the whole competition and stuff like makes people want to keep improving.
I suppose, yeah.
So I would say capitalism is one of the reasons why we've gotten to a more comfortable society.
I think it's also kind of like maybe I'm reading in this too much as being like sucking the dick of capitalism, but like it's kind of like a survival of the fittest Darwin type scenario, right? Because if you're a big company and you stay on top for a while, the minute that you get complacent and a competitor brings a better product, you're out of business, right?
Fucking
like
Blockbuster.
Well, that's a better example. I was gonna say like the shaving companies with all the online stuff, right? Every online like Casper mattress, the Dollar Shave Club and shit like that. Like, think about how much Gillette's getting kicked in the balls and Sleep Country's getting kicked in the balls by all these motherfuckers who you don't never have to look them in the face and have that awkward thing where people don't like going to stores anymore.
Yeah,
you just call someone up and be like, "Send me a mattress." Okay, I'll see you in a week.
It's just advertisement, and when you are ready to buy something.
Exactly, yeah. It comes to and it's going to the consumers as opposed to the consumer going to you. You know what I mean? It's a completely different mentality that people have just completely bought into.
So what was that point that you wanted to bring?
Okay. So I don't know how much you want to go into this, but with last week's news, I don't know if we even touched on it or not, but there was that dude that firebombed the ice facility.
Oh, right, yeah.
Got killed. I think you read part of it, the article, and was talking about it. And I was thinking about it and listening to it, and like normally I'm like, whatever, the leftists will do whatever bullshit, and I'll comment on it. But I've been kind of more aggravated than usual based on the people being like for example, there's this dude Sean King who I don't even follow.
Talcum X.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I guess so. And he's like saying, we need more action by all means necessary.
I heard about that.
And it's not that the beyond by all means necessary that I have a problem with necessarily. It's the fact that I guarantee you every single person who ever says that statement is too much of a fucking coward to go do it them fucking selves.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And if you don't have the balls to go do it your fucking self, then you don't have the right or any leg to stand on to say that to anybody else.
You
can't be leading. You should lead by example. Go firebombing yourself. The only person that should be fucking talking about an escalation of violence against ICE or a violent upgrade to protesting is the fucking dude who literally gave up his life knowing exactly what was going to go down. If you're just sitting on the sidelines commentating, shut the fuck up on telling other people to go kill themselves for your fucking cause because you're too much of a pussy, but you want to inherit all the gifts. Fuck you, you're garbage, you're trash. Lead by example, go out there, set yourself on fire, and then run at the
Yep.
fucking ice people.
Be a hero.
Yeah, be a true hero. Go fuck
Man,
yourself.
I was kind of mad at that because again, like Taco Max or Sean King. Have you heard that name for him, Taco
No,
Max?
I feel like I have, but I've heard the thing where he like self-identifies as black, but
Yeah,
he's like almost as pale as I am.
He's super fucking
Yeah.
pale, but yeah, that's why the trolley nickname for him is
Mhm.
Talcum X. But anyways, I'm fucking annoyed how like him and a bunch of other people are using this guy as a martyr. Like this guy's a fucking terrorist. Okay,
To a certain degree, I mean, one martyr is another's terrorist. I
fair
mean,
enough.
I feel like some people
that's
would say
accurate,
that, but like again, that's why I'm focusing
He's-
purely on the point that like they're inciting more people to do stuff like this
Mhm.
based on the idea of the ideology wants us. This is the same shit that like people get like criticize like Muslim culture, like the bad
Mhm.
parts of Muslim culture for.
Yes.
So now they're like doing the exact same thing, but it's just again from their perspective. So they're giving
it's okay
a
from
free
their
pass. It's
perspective.
fucking trash.
Yeah, but I mean, like I compare it to like the Christchurch shooter from a couple months ago, right?
Yeah.
Like somebody, except this guy was even more dangerously armed. He had like fucking firebombs with him.
Yeah, I mean
So-
that's a false equivalency, but whatever.
Okay, fair enough.
Guns
yeah.
are just as effective as. Like,
Well, he had guns as well.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Although I think the Christchurch may have had a shotgun, but I don't know about that. But anyways, this guy had guns and bombs with him, fire bombs,
Yeah.
so not as bad, but they're still kind of
Well, he was
bad.
setting like cars on fire.
Yeah.
And some other
So
shit.
like this guy is a terrorist. Like he
By one definition, yeah.
by the definition of terrorism,
Yeah.
he's a terrorist. He's committing violence for political means. That's terrorism. So
He's
like
also giving up his life for a protest against something that
that's
he
still
disagrees
like that's
with.
what terrorists always do.
Yeah, but you could say the same thing about the American Revolution.
yeah, they were terrorists.
Yeah, okay, but they're also martyrs and freedom fighters.
Yes.
Both are applicable.
Yes, but this guy was putting like kids in harm's way.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that like everyone's just so flippantly okay with justifying his violence is kind of pissing me
Well,
off.
again, it's the fringe left that's generally the ones.
It's not just the
championing
fringe left. Like it's a lot of people. Like
Oh. I know a lot of fringe left people then because I hear that shit all the time.
I was on a website and I was talking about like how this guy's a terrorist and I was called disgusting and I
Yeah.
was banned.
That's
And I was really soft about it too. I was just like any normal person, liberal or conservative, would call this guy a terrorist because
Yeah.
he attacked a bunch of people.
Replace
put kids-
ICE with homosexuals.
That's exactly Replace ICE with
Terrorists.
Muslims. Yeah.
Terrorists.
Terrorist. But I got fucking banned, and they were said I was one of the reason I was banned. They said that
Is it hate speech?
it was hate speech, and I was generalizing all liberals, which pissed me off because I specifically said anybody, liberal or conservative, would think this guy is a terrorist. I didn't say all liberals thought he was a hero.
No, Ken, you're generalizing the entire political spectrum.
Yeah, that's exactly yeah. So, but no, I consider the dude a terrorist. He's very similar to the Christchurch shooter. He went to a
Well, he
place.
was an anarchist, so that does. Yeah.
He went to a place intended to cause harm for political goals.
Yeah.
He's a fucking terrorist, and he put all those kids in harm's way. Fucking, I believe even George Takei said something that kind of pissed me off. Although I don't remember if it was actually George Takei.
Well, he has been fairly politically active since, especially since Donald Trump got elected.
Yeah, he has. But I think I might be wrong. It may not have been George Takei, but I believe it was.
Mhm.
Said something along the lines of, "Oh, that person was just setting fire to vehicles. He didn't actually attack any kids or something like that."
Yeah, but
I'm
it's
like,
like
but
a
he's still attacking the
explosion
place.
of chain reaction.
Yeah, and
yeah, whatever. I fucked that up.
I'd imagine the vehicles are the first thing that you see when you enter a property, as with most
Yeah, but
other
you could
properties.
you could say the same thing that like, if you firebomb cars in a mall parking lot, that doesn't immediately mean that the building's gonna explode.
Yeah, I mean that's
I mean,
true.
it's still an act of like of danger
But this-
that could turn very very bad.
But imagine this open building. Like the entrance is gonna probably be the parking lot. Like he probably attacked the parking lot because it was the first thing there,
Yeah.
not because he was specifically not trying to target the building or the people.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think he was trying to do as much
I th-
property damage as possible.
possibly, I think
But I
he
mean,
did
that-
kill someone. I believe a person did die.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't
I
hear
think
anything
there was
about that
one.
because I heard that he was the only casualty.
Oh, maybe
From the-
maybe that was the one then. I heard somewhere that one person did die. I thought it meant like as well as the killer,
Yeah.
but maybe I'm wrong about that.
No,
Or
it
the
might be that
terrorist, I should
it's
say.
just him and they just worded it in such a way.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I think the dude's a fucking terrorist, and if I'm glad he's dead because he's a fucking danger to everyone. because I don't know. I'm just happy he's dead. That's it.
It's so hard to say because people have so many different opinions on the whole, like, not necessarily the border crisis, but how it's being handled.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so, like, not, I hate to just shy away and say it's nuanced and then that's it. But it is like a certain level of there is a problem, there is no solution. Where they're trying to fund a solution, but Trump is a little shit, and while also trying to like fund ICE properly, so it doesn't seem like it's a concentration camp,
Yeah.
and these people are taken care of better. It's also he's trying to siphon that money off for the wall, which the Democrats don't want to have anything to do with. And every time they try to vote to give the money a little bit
Mm-hmm.
to the whole like ICE organization, and then they know that a little bit's going to go to the wall, even if that's a thing or not anymore,
Mm-hmm.
it immediately gets blocked by other people
Yeah.
who say it's like funding it at all is a terrible thing. But then those people are the people saying that at their concentration camps. So it's just feeding into its own bullshit cycle.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
It just spirals into some shithole, and it's like
poor ICE.
it's so fucking annoying. Like, there's no right person, and the only way that you truly know what the fuck's going on in those things is by being a person there, seeing it with your own eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
like, I can never have a true opinion on...
Not like AOC, though.
Well, yeah, you know. I've heard of that, like, Beanie Man's fucking reading articles on that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I heard her little tour was bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that, and that the lady who was drinking out of the toilet bowls because she didn't know how to use the faucet.
That's what he suspects. But they're like, you know, in my opinion, guards are also assholes.
Yeah,
it
it's
wouldn't
totally possible.
It wouldn't surprise me if they did tell her just to drink out of the toilet.
Yeah,
although
as a dismissive thing, or turned off the water at a certain part. But again, like, you don't actually know what they're dealing with and what is going on in those places unless you're literally there.
Yeah.
And I just wish there would be some either hidden camera footage that's actually legit of being like what's going on in there, or even footage from them. Like, there's more of a chance that that's doctored and bullshit.
Yeah,
if it's put out by the government themselves. So it'd be nice if it was hidden camera and someone was fucking in there and shit like that. But like,
man, but I mean, you're kind of right about like ICE just being, just for lack of a better term, I'll just say defunded from like everywhere, because like you're right, like Trump is taking money away from them to do border security.
Yeah.
Instead of, because like ICE doesn't technically do border security. They
run the detention facilities,
and they bring in illegal immigrants from across the country to those detention facilities, I believe. So they run the facilities and they bring the people there.
Yeah.
But I believe they are like the facilities are near the border.
Yeah, I think just for ease.
Yeah. But also like you're right, like the liberals who
Democrats.
the Democrats.
Yeah.
Democrats who fucking hate ICE are also blocking them getting extra funding so that they can give.
They might get solutions to their problems.
Yeah, so they can give a better living, or not, is living a strong word, but better accommodations to the people in the facilities.
That's probably a better term. Yeah.
Because like there was that incident 2 weeks ago where the company Wayfair wanted to give beds to ICE just for the people to fucking have somewhere to sleep, or a nice thing to sleep on, right?
What was the end result of that?
A lot of people, more democratic-minded people that worked for Wayfair, threatened to quit if they gave those jobs to ICE. Not jobs, sorry, the beds to ICE.
That sucks.
Yeah, so the end result of those, you know, I'll call them progressives, those quote-unquote progressives protesting against giving beds to ICE is people don't have anywhere to sleep now.
Or less.
Or there's less comfortable
accommodations,
yeah. Right? So like...
So their criticisms could be solved by something, but then ideology gets in the way.
Pretty much. Like a lot of these people just need to think a little bit more about like the end result of whatever they're trying to accomplish is.
Any support of the Nazi movement is a support of it entirely.
How dare you try to give beds to a fucking concentration camp?
They're just going to give them to the ICE members.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the guards took it, to be honest.
Casper mattresses for guards only.
Yeah,
you get cement, immigrants.
Yeah, that's right. You just sleep on the ground. We'll put a bed right in front of the jail cell or whatever they are. I don't know what they're being kept behind. The bed's right in front of the bars, and then the guards will sleep on the beds. Yeah.
With a sleep mask and earmuffs so they can't hear anything?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, fuck. I don't know. But, like, Yeah, these people really need to think about what they're doing. Like I said before, like um you have to think of doing things in a way that are solution oriented and not just hating the other team oriented. Like
Yeah.
you have to think of what you're gonna do. How will this solve the problem? Not how can I show that I hate them so much.
Yeah. Well, I think a part of that problem is that everyone's always trying to shove things into bills and like funding that it goes elsewhere.
Yes,
Like
yeah,
everyone always sneaks something else in that
yeah.
has
That's
something to like
typically how that
loosely
works.
related. The fact that that exists in politics is such a bullshit fucking maneuver. It's like there's too many fucking hands in the pot. You
Yeah,
can't just do one fucking action. It's like
'cause
we're gonna do this one thing and three other things, but
nobody
mostly
fucking
that one
reads
thing.
that shit though.
It's so stupid. That's why I hate TOS.
Mm-hmm.
TOS is bullshit for anything
Okay,
or end
any
user
TOS.
agreements
Yeah.
because they're like legal jargon. Have you
Yeah.
like I know that people have read them, and this is like a stupid thing for me to say, but if you actually read those things,
Mm-hmm.
they just do back talk the whole fucking time. We hold for an indefinite amount of time all terms of everything ever, all forever, and entirely in all its forms ever until its end of time, and then also back when before it ever existed. It's like, holy shit, what the fuck did I just read? Did you just explain to me a time loop movie? It's fucking bullshit, dude.
They're hyper specific about being vague.
Yeah, exactly. It's so lame. Like,
Yeah.
and it's all in capitals. That's the thing I hate most about reading Twitter and shit like that, where people do all caps. It's like, no. Just write it normal. I swear to God, if I ever became president or prime minister, the first thing, well, not the first thing, one of the many things I would try to do is like, you have to be able to have a high school level of education, and that has to be applied to terms of service and user agreements. It has to be understood by someone coming out of high school.
Well, I mean, like,
because that's what we mandatorily teach adults, quote unquote, who are going to be signing things off and representing themselves, similar to how we should have been taught how to do our fucking taxes in high school.
Yes.
This is the same thing. You get someone to a certain level, and then you're like, okay, society can handle you being this intelligent, roughly. Then terms of service should be able to meet that level of intelligence and not be lawyer level intelligence.
But then, like, I don't know if I agree with that, because, like, if something happens and you broke the terms of service, it goes to it goes to a court, in which case law is invoked.
Yes, but that means that the only people that are benefiting from those things are lawyers and law and courts. Lawyers
would benefit either way, though. Like,
no, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't, because lawyers would only benefit in my reality in the sense that they would have to write their little bullshit legal jargon and then reduce that down to a more layman's version of it.
They have to hire a high school kid just to be like, can you rewrite this?
I guess so, or at least have the capability to know what's important and feed people the information, because you know that shit's written to make you lose interest. Like, I've tried reading a complete user end agreement, and
It's
even me being
impossible.
as diligent as I can just to make sure there's nothing slipped in there, there's always something that is either slipped in there that sounds just vaguely shitty. Like, the one I always hate is, we're not going to sell your information, but we will share it with all of our friends and third-party associates and sister companies, and basically they'll sell it on our behalf, so our hands are tied free. It's like, fuck you.
You just give that to a third party. The third party sells it.
There you go. You're free. Fuck that, dude. Like, shit like that. And then the other one is, like, by the time that you get down to like 75, well, at least me, 75% way through the whole thing, you're just so fucking bored of reading nothing. It's literally you're reading nothing, because there's like 5 bullet points of things that you're like, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Oh, now you're going to sell my information?
Well,
I kind of care about that. And then you get to the next one, you're like, fuck, they're just saying the same shit again. I don't care.
To your credit, like, I can't think of any specific examples off the top of my head, but, like, I feel like whenever there's been a court case involving, like, a terms of service, the government understands that these, the way it's written is not meant for, like, regular people, and does soften the terms themselves.
But then you're still signing off an illegal agreement. It's like, it's the same thing if you were to sign a lease for a house or something like that. It's like the things are all written there. Obviously, it's much less in depth when it's 2 sheets of paper as opposed to like 8 scrolls paper worth of
technically
text.
You're right, but a judge can still determine if, like, yes, you did sign that. That's clearly fucking bullshit.
Or it's out of your capability to understand.
Yeah, like something like that. So we're gonna reward you and not the fucking big company.
I suppose.
You know?
I just have very little faith in that actually getting that far. You know what I mean? If I were to try to sue Sony for some bullshit that they put in there. Like, say if my like gaming channel took off and they're like, no, back in 2014 when you signed up for PlayStation, you signed off the name Shadowsly as a Sony owned property and stuff like that. So you're no longer allowed to use it. I'd be like, fuck you, I'll use that whatever I want. I'm a fucking edgelord. And they'll be like, no, and then I gotta sue them. I gotta sue Sony. Please, like that's gonna get very far.
You just put an accent on the A or something.
Like when we went for the Mii's in Nintendo, Hitler.
Yeah.
With the accent over the E.
Yeah. I'm shocked that they didn't think of that, because like I feel like if I were to work for Nintendo and I was the one who like was trying to block all those words, like besides the actual spelling of Hitler, that's the next thing I would go to. You know,
I wouldn't have thought of that. It's just so dumb.
I would probably go to like HITL accent ER or HITLYR
or with a 3.
It's whatever, you know. Like I would be dedicated to think of every fucking version of this.
Well, that guy didn't do a good enough job for Nintendo. He slacked off. He didn't rack a discipline.
Those guys, yeah.
Sorry, you rack a discipline.
Those guys need to hire like a 14-year-old kid to do that shit, because 14-year-old kid will fucking figure out everything. Okay.
Hire freelance meme lords.
Yeah, fuck, man. Freelance meme lords will solve all that kind of shit.
I'm trying to think. There was something else. Oh, yeah. Do you want to talk about your horror movie thing, since I was so salty about it before?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, have you come up with any ideas of horror movies that you actually like?
Yeah, so I really like Life. I think Life is and we did mention it last time, but I really like the remake of Ash versus Evil Dead. Not Ash versus Evil Dead. Just Evil Dead.
The Army of Darkness?
No, it's not Army of Darkness.
Evil Dead 2.
It's starring the girl.
Oh, okay, so the actual remake.
Because Evil Dead 2 is a remake.
Yeah.
I really like Evil Dead 1, so the first one, the horror movie, and I like the remake with the girl.
Okay, the newest one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ones are pretty good. I would say that most people would probably say that Life is not a great horror movie. It's like a very, like, takes a bunch of other movies and then puts them all into one.
Mm-hmm. Like what?
Like The
Alien?
Thing,
Oh,
because it
Thing,
changes form and adapts and stuff like that in a different way, but the same thing. The fact that they're trapped on a spaceship is like a alien and stuff like that. So there are a lot of beats that movie hits. I will say that Life was entertaining and worth a watch, but it's certainly nothing like blow your fucking pants off.
Such a
amazing.
Good movie.
I know, but I think that's because you have poor taste in movies.
No, I have great taste in movies.
No, you have terrible
Anybody
taste.
who disagrees with me has shit taste in movies.
No, I think it's just you, and you're looking in a mirror. But you have a very low caliber of taste. And
this coming from the person who likes bad movies like Hereditary, okay?
I think most people like Hereditary. And because
most people have bad taste. Whatever the general opinion of the populace is, that's usually the wrong opinion.
No, because that's the people that are actually interested in those things that are actually people
those
that are
people
dedicated
just have
to
bad
that
opinions. Okay,
particular. Nice,
fucking hell,
nice.
Yeah.
You didn't learn the first time. You should have fucking just put it on mute like I did.
Especially after that first time, it made it sound this podcast too. No, man. Life is a great movie. Okay, Evil Dead, great movie.
Let's look up the Metacritic for Life, and then pit it against Hereditary.
I think Life is at like 60% for Metacritic.
Did you actually look at it?
I looked at it a while ago, but I vaguely remember it being at like 60%.
Okay.
And then Hereditary. We looked at Hereditary last time, right?
Did we?
I think we did. I think it was at like 80%.
2017. 54.
Damn.
54.
And so what's Hereditary? Well, did you see the user score?
6 point. Wait.
So whatever, 6 point something. That's good.
I think 6.3.
Okay.
For user score, 54 for critic.
Okay.
And then, when you don't have the app.
Why don't you have the app?
Because I don't have enough room on my phone, and I refuse to have people's proprietary garbage on my phone.
You probably have a shit ton of proprietary garbage on your phone.
Oh no, 2018. Are you ready for this, Ken?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm only getting the critic review right now. Critic review, 87.
Okay, so we know critics are bullshit, so go ahead.
User score, ready?
Yeah.
7.4.
Yeah, see?
A whole point higher.
It's fucking garbage.
A whole point higher.
And as we've discussed, whatever the majority opinion is, that's usually the wrong opinion. Okay?
No, that's you discussing that. Doesn't count. Your opinions doesn't mean fucking anything but trash.
So Life is better.
93% positive reviews,
Mm-hmm.
4% mixed, 2% negative reviews.
and that turns to 80. You're
No,
talking about the
80,
critic?
87%, but it's overall. So
Yeah,
within the people who gave it positive reviews, which could be anywhere from like an 8 to a 10,
but you're talking
93.
about the critic reviews, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all
And
right.
user score, it's 73, 14, and 12.
I usually only look at the user.
Okay, so 73% of people had positive.
Mm-hmm.
520. I wonder what Thing for Life was now.
It was 6.3.
User scores, 53% of people liked it. 32% had mixed, 13 negative. So same amount of negative, a little more
Well,
mixed, and a little less
fuck the
positive.
raw numbers. It's just the percentage at the end.
Well,
That
yeah,
really
but it's the
matters.
breakdown of people who gave it in that kind of bracket, right?
I get it, but I mean, like once you pass like let's say 200 reviews, I think the average is just good enough.
Yeah. 200 for Life, it's 266 positive reviews by itself. So that's pretty good.
But I think more people saw Hereditary, right?
I feel like they probably did.
Yeah.
Because Life got kind of shafted with its release.
What else released along with it?
I don't know, but I just remember that we went to go see it like when it came out, and it was a small theater.
Yeah.
Like it was a week. We went to go see it like a week after it came out or something like that. It was barely any time, and we were in that small theater that I was like a fucking. Remember?
I do
And we were
remember.
high
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did it come out around that same time as was it Amy Adams where she was dealing with aliens or something like that? I
Oh,
forgot what
that's
that one
possible.
was called.
Okay, well, it came out March 24th, 2017. Would you like me to digital sleuth?
But I don't think it really matters right now. Is it Amy Adams? Do you know the movie I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's that one was pretty good.
Yeah, I really like that one. That was a good movie.
God, what was it called?
Forgot what it was called though. Fuck.
My brain's. Oh, now it's just giving me freaking by top like rating and shit like that. That's not helpful.
Yeah.
I couldn't find it.
Fuck.
You can look it up yourselves
Now I
if
want
you
to
give
know
a shit.
what that movie is. Yeah. So the conclusion is Life is a better movie.
No, that's
Yeah.
not true at all.
Yeah. So there we go.
This is a group of people who like movies,
Mm-hmm.
reviewing movies,
Yeah.
and of those people that reviewed it,
Yeah.
almost all of them liked it. So it's like a condensed version of a condensed group of a condensed group.
Are you talking about Life or Hereditary?
Both of them, because they're both. It's people who like movies,
Mm-hmm.
then people who like that genre of movie,
Mm-hmm.
and then people rating it based on that.
No, I don't think that's the case. I
'Cause
think
think
it's
about
just
it.
people who
Think
like.
about it. People didn't like Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you need to see Last Jedi so you can actually have an actual opinion on it.
I
Not just
probably
say-
won't like it because like I haven't really liked any Star Wars movie except for fucking the one with Jyn Erso again, Rogue One. Yeah.
Did
Rogue
you
One.
like Force Awakens?
Force Awakens was okay. I didn't think it was amazing, but
Okay.
that's like I mostly watched that movie because like
Hype.
not even I guess hype would be the right word. I watched it because I knew a lot of people were going to talk about it, and like
So,
but
okay.
I don't really care about Star Wars. Like I've told you a bunch of times, like I don't really think Star Wars is a great franchise.
That's because you have no taste, but okay.
And George Lucas at best is a shit director.
Okay, I mean,
doesn't know what
but
he's doing.
See, that's at least a little more accurate.
George Lucas
With your
is a hack.
uninformed opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, he got all away with the first one, but that's when
Yeah.
he had some like level of humility.
What do you mean?
Like he directed the first Star Wars movie, right?
Yeah.
But it was like his second movie. He was doing it like low budget. He only had like one or two really famous people in the movie.
What was the first movie?
Star Wars.
You said it was his second movie.
Okay, so his first movie was this like how do I put it? It's like a 1930s like what is it called? You know, like A Streetcar Named Desire? Like that play?
I know of it.
Yeah, okay. It's like that kind of movie, like
Okay.
Grease and shit like that, but
Alright.
minus the singing. It's like that kind of
Mhm.
movie. And then he did another one called THX 1138,
Okay.
which is like a futuristic sci-fi movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like The Island, kind of like Logan's Run.
Right.
I don't
Okay.
think you've seen either of them, or maybe you've seen the Island.
I know again, like I know of them loosely.
Okay,
So
it's kind of like that kind of movie. And
Yeah.
then he did Star Wars,
Okay.
and he directed that. But then 5 and 6, he didn't direct. He just
that I know.
wrote most of it.
Mm-hmm. But so Star Wars was his first big movie, or were the other ones like fairly high budget as well?
THX 1138 is fairly high budget
Mm-hmm. Okay.
for his kind of up and coming director, but Star Wars is like
The first big movie.
first big movie of
Mhm.
his that like for wide audiences
Mm-hmm.
and that people actually ate the shit out of. And even that's derivative of like two other types of movies. Like the Seven Samurai.
Yeah, I heard about
and
that. Like,
I can't remember the other one.
Like it's, I don't want to say it's based off of those movies, but it almost feels like it's based off
it's
those
kind of
movies
that
or
takes
something like that.
the general plot details of it and then puts it in space.
Yeah, which a lot of people give him shit for, but I don't know. I feel
Everything's
like
derivative.
yeah,
If you go back far enough, you start realizing that everybody just made the thing that they liked when they were a kid.
pretty much.
Like every single person always does that. It's like, I liked this when I was a kid, and then you go back to the person who made that thing that they liked as a kid, and they just made that thing that they made that inspired that person back because they liked something as a kid.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's probably going to be more of a mixture of the things that they like, but
you know, see what I mean though.
Yeah.
Like I'm learning this with music a lot. Like I used to. I do really still like hip hop and rap, but I've come to realize that like all of 90s hip hop and rap almost exclusively is rip off and samples of music from the 80s and the 70s.
Oh, really?
And music from the 80s and the 70s is all rip off and sampling of music from the 50s and the 60s, right? So like it just keeps chaining like that, where it's like I was watching this you know, Run DMC, right?
No, I don't know what that is.
The band Run DMC. It's tricky.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Tricky. Oh, good God. Okay. Well, anyways, there's a band that's very famous called Run DMC.
Okay.
There's this guy from the band DMC. It's a hip hop band.
Okay.
And he was saying that like when he was growing up and they were doing rhymes and doing scratching and stuff like that and working like with like tables, they were doing it all with music from the 70s and 60s with disco music, and a lot of their rapping they would rap over would be like the heavy bass lines from like 70s disco songs, right? So then you would take the 70s disco songs that are all this like funky, happy, like feel good music, and then you put this like 80s hip hop over it, but you'd just be taking the bass line of it, right? And then same thing, you would go on to the 90s and they'd be sampling stuff from like MC Hammer, You Can't Touch This, right? Is a direct sample of well, the music part of it, like the beat, is a direct sample of Rick James's Super Freak. Boom, doom, 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 boom, doom, doom, doom. Can't touch this.
I have to listen to those two side by side.
I'm telling you, it's almost a direct sampling beat-wise, right? And that came out in like the 70s, and then MC Hammer used it, the beat, but put a new rap over it for a new era, and then it got popular, right? And it's like this constant thing, and I feel like movies is no different than that. It's people doing movies of movies they liked, of people that liked movies of
like that's kind of how you learn, right? Like,
and still the same thing with books and stories. So to say that something is derivative, unless it's extremely derivative, that's the only thing you like. This is a good wraparound. Lion King came out, which is hyper derivative. I literally watched a podcast today where it was about the new Lion King movie, but none of the people had seen it, and all they did was talk about Metacritic reviews of other people, or not just Metacritic, but like reviews of the movie of people that are into the industry, because they know that that's basically a shot-for-shot remake. That this thing is
of the
original Lion King.
Just so we're clear, though, the Lion King remake is animated. Okay.
No, that's fine.
I'm tired of people fucking saying it's live action.
I think we said this in a different podcast.
We probably did, because I've been talking about it with people, and a lot of them say live action Lion King.
Just because it's
not
photorealistic doesn't make it live action. It's still animated.
Yeah, I guess fucking like the original Lion King is live action now too. Yeah. Although I guess that's not 3D. Fucking what would be Frozen is live action. Did you know that?
No, please. I don't think it
Every
is.
3D movie is live action now. I can't, like I keep saying, I can't wait for them to do Emperor's New Groove.
I think that's bottom of the barrel. But
it's such a good movie, and
I'm just saying that I don't think there's enough demand for it. Like once they get past Mulan, then talk to them.
Look, but I can't remember if you mentioned this, but I heard it somewhere. But it's like the perfect SJW movie. There's like not a single white man in there. Okay, everyone is a person of color. I think except for the witch lady. I forgot her name.
No, she's black.
Is she black?
Well, okay, the voice actress from the original movie is black.
Okay,
it's the woman who played Catwoman in the Adam West Batman.
Oh, really?
The African American Catwoman, because there was like 3 or 4.
Yeah, I know there was a bunch of them for like I think everyone.
Yeah, there's like Julie Newmar. There was one in a movie that was also white, and then there was Eartha Kitt. Eartha Kitt.
Kitt.
That
right.
played her like towards the end of the series, and then she played the witch or whatever she is.
I didn't know that.
For Emperor's New Groove.
But
have you seen Ernest?
Which one? There's
Ernest Scared Stupid. The Halloween one.
I probably have, and I just don't remember.
She's in that movie too, as like crazy old like voodoo lady.
That sounds familiar to me. I do.
She's always plays like that kind of character, but she's fun.
Okay. I mean, they could hire her for that. Yeah.
She's dead.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
But whatever.
There's no Mufasa's coming back. James Earl Jones in this one.
Almost everyone in that movie is a person of color. It's like the perfect SJW
No,
movie.
what's his name? The buff dude,
Kronk?
Crunk.
Kronk,
I
yeah,
mean,
something like
maybe
that.
because of the region, he has to be Mayan, so
Yeah.
he's probably South American. But
But
he's
the
played by a
actor
white
is
dude.
white. Yeah,
Yeah.
the actor is white. That would not fly in today's time.
Well, whatever.
Because people don't seem to know what acting is.
No.
Um, what I think because although the only downside to that is you can't change the cast to be colored because they seem to really like doing that. Seem to like
Oh
doing that
yeah.
to redheads
I mean, they
specifically.
could.
Yeah. Speaking now, we should probably talk about fucking
Spooderman.
Spider-Man. Yeah, because we saw that
Yeah, I
recently.
suppose it's true.
Yeah, and
I mean, do we want to do spoilers? Because you were all like
I
salty
don't. I
about
don't
doing
want to talk.
spoilers.
I don't want to talk too much about the plot. But
Okay, so how do
just
you want to
we
talk
thought,
about it?
just what we thought of it, like how it was a good.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I
Uh,
really enjoyed
I
it.
do you think my comment about what type of movie it is that I said in the car? Do you think that would be spoilery?
I can't even remember what that
It
comment
was about how it's like another movie.
Oh,
Do you think that's spoilery?
Ooh, you know what? Fuck it. I don't think so.
Okay, my biggest complaint, and this is not that bad of a complaint because it's still a decent movie to watch, and I'd be willing to even watch it again in theaters.
Mhm.
But it's sad that Spider-Man Far From Home is actually just Iron Man 4.
He's just dealing with Iron
More
Man
Tony
shit.
Stark bullshit.
Yeah,
And freaking Happy's in it, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. I just don't like the fact that it's like the same complaint that everyone had with every Iron Man movie. Well, the one few complaint of Iron Man movies is that it's always Iron Man's bullshit
yes.
that comes back to bite him in the ass
Mhm.
for whatever like mediocre amount it is. It always ends up being like that, and it's like Spider-Man is just like metaphorically the new like Iron Man,
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
and they're not even you know what, actually, now that I think about it, they're making this point of like Peter Parker is this new Iron Man,
Mhm.
but I don't think I've seen him once in the 3 movies that he's been in, or 4 movies, I guess, if you can count 5 if you can count Endgame,
Mhm.
right? So like Civil War, Endgame, Infinity War, the 2 Spider-Man movies. I don't think I've ever seen him do one tech thing. He's supposed to be really smart, and even Tony Stark acknowledges that in Civil War.
Yeah.
Right? But, like, where is his tech thing?
He made his web shooters.
Yeah, but he doesn't do anything else tech related.
Yeah.
Like, in the movie, all he does is use a computer to make a new suit. Great. He doesn't do it by hand, and he doesn't
And it's
really...
not even his technology.
It's not even his technology. The only thing he does to use his brain power is to have the innovation of the ideas he's putting into the suit, but technically he's not building anything.
Well, you know what? I kind of like that because Spider-Man is smart, but I really hate, and this is more of a fault with like the Spider-Man cartoons. I hate the overuse of tech in like everything else that's Spider-Man related.
I just like that he uses science.
I don't
just to, like, do some detective work. It's kind of like Batman. It's like Batman's not always like pouring vials into one another to get fingerprints, but every once in a while he does decide he wants to be an actual detective and do some detecting.
And then and in those moments he'll pour vials into one another. Yeah.
I mean, I guess the best example is Dark Knight. When he does the reconstruction of the bullet.
That was fucking cool.
That's like the best thing. But again, it only happens once in that whole movie that he does anything detective-y, right? And that's my biggest problem with those Batman movies too. It's like he's never a detective. I want him to do detective stuff. He's the world's greatest detective.
But you know, apparently he just
beats
happen
the shit out of
around him.
people.
Yeah. Well, like I guess I don't mind Spider-Man using technology to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
But I don't want him to be using too much technology to solve the problem. You know, like I want him to be a brawler. Like at the end of the day, that's what I want from
using
Spider-Man.
his wits in the moment.
Using his wits and his powers and just everything he has available to him, plus web shooters. Because those are technically not
anything
his.
that he uses directly, I'm willing to give a free pass. And stuff like that, like web shooters or whatever type of like web technology, or any variation of that, kind of like in the video game where he has like tasers he can shoot out and stuff like that. I'm okay with that kind of shit. But I agree with you, the thing of like, I can't beat this one guy. Now I have to create this one thing to beat this one guy.
This hyper specific thing.
That I can kind of like, you don't do that too many times because obviously it's gonna get tiresome.
Yeah.
But I do agree that like, him getting like, I would just like to see more of that, him using tech, I think. Because if you're going to set him up as he's the new Tony Stark in like whatever capacity, I'd like him to do something technology related.
And speaking of that, I'm going into that movie. I was kind of surprised that they were setting him up to be the new Tony Stark, because like,
well, they kind of did that in the other movies because he's always been like kind of like stepdaddy with
with
Tony
Tony.
Stark.
Yeah, but I heard for the longest time that they were going to introduce Ironheart and have her be the new Iron Man replacement.
Maybe they were just
Now,
throwing it out there to test people to see how they like it. And then
it's
when Captain
possible.
Marvel came out, they're like, okay, we can't just sell movies on pussy.
uh,
I'm sorry, Brie Larson. I should be more respected on a female protagonist.
one of the few.
Yeah.
Or the only one, actually, I think.
In Marvel, or are we just talking in general?
In Marvel. In Marvel.
Yeah, Black Widow hasn't got her own movie.
She deserved it more. I'm kind of annoyed that Captain Marvel got one before Black Widow, but it's easier to write a movie for Captain Marvel.
I don't know. You just write a bullshit off story from Marvel that's a spy thriller. It has almost nothing to do with superheroes.
That would be nice.
Or at the very end, it's like the Russians are doing super soldier serum, and she has to fight one.
I think
that would be pretty easy.
I think that a lot of Black Widow's storyline, like in the past, although they could just do something totally unrelated, but a lot of her past has already been kind of like set in stone from previous movies, like chunks here, chunks there.
Yeah, but they don't specifically like show you anything that she does. It's just that like her and Hawkeye met before she joined S.H.I.E.L.D.
And there was a Budapest event.
And there's a Budapest
might have been where they met. We don't know.
It's possible, yeah. Or that could be just one of the missions they went on while they were working with S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, it's totally malleable.
Yeah. But I think that because of all of that kind of stuff, like, it's a lot. You know what? This probably wouldn't stop them, to be honest. But there's a lot of that to keep track of. Whereas with Captain Marvel, like, they pretty much had free reign to do whatever they want.
Yeah, because they just introduced her, and they were like, here, accept it.
And also, I think just from, like, a social justice point of view, Scarlett Johansson doesn't have the greatest track record anymore.
Not anymore, but I mean, I think that's not really her fault. It's more of people imposing their political view on her.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Ghost in the Shell was a bad movie, but not because of Scarlett Johansson.
No.
And the idea that because it's a Japanese made inspired movie by Japanese culture that she has to be Japanese, it's like the whole point is that she isn't the person that she is on the outside.
Yeah,
that's
it's
the whole
she's supposed to be like an outsider. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know, but like the whole point is that she's just a brain in a robot, basically.
Yeah.
And people are like, she can't be a white woman. It's like, it doesn't matter what she looks like on the outside. They hired Scarlett Johansson because they want people to go see the movie. Guess what? I went to go see the movie because of Scarlett Johansson. So that means that their marketing worked.
Yes, but like, and I've said this about other things like the female Ghostbusters and stuff. That decision to hire Scarlett Johansson, in my mind, is a lazy decision. So
I suppose, but it's a lazy decision that was done smart. Like, you can be lazy and smart at the same time, but you can be lazy and not actually do the due diligence, right? That's Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters didn't do the due diligence.
No, they did not do the due diligence.
We've got Ghostbusters and we've got women.
Yeah.
Bitches, people love women. Bitches love Ghostbusters. Let's put them together, right? But they didn't do that with this. They're like, Scarlett Johansson's hot.
Yeah.
Black Widow's hot. We put them together. Okay, we don't have to give her much storyline, but it still works.
But that's kind of the point, right?
Yeah.
Like they just decided if we have Scarlett Johansson, then we don't have to write a good story.
Yeah.
Like, in my mind, that's the series of events. So I still haven't seen it, but I feel like been told it's not great.
I've just read off the list that they released for whatever San Diego Comic-Con of the next phase, and I don't know if that's actually real or if that's just people passing stuff around and people get so up in the hype.
I saw that image too.
But the fact that they're doing a Black Widow movie like next, I feel like they really should have done that before or in the middle of the Infinity War Endgame.
It would have been great if they did it before Endgame.
I think that would have been too on the nose just because of what happens in Endgame. Just a little bit on the nose, but I think it would have been a lot better for what happens in Endgame because so many people were like, "Yep." And then moved on with their life, you know what I mean?
I'm kind of pissed that, because I don't want to say what happened, but like I'm kind of pissed.
It's been a couple months. Yeah. It's been re-released and it's made more money than Avatar.
Thank God, because that movie is dog shit.
Yeah,
I hated that movie from day one.
But my point being is, I think most, if not everyone, has seen it, except for anyone living in like a third world country.
Okay, fair enough. I really hated that in the all-female scene, Scarlett Johansson,
Scarlet Witch,
not Scarlet Witch, sorry, Black Widow. Wasn't there. That really frustrated me.
Yeah, but she can't be there.
I know, no, I'm fully aware. Because of the story, she can't be there. But she is like the main female Avenger. Like, there's...
Yeah, I know.
She's the first name that comes up when you think of female
Avengers.
Avenger.
And she takes a pretty prominent role in Endgame to be like, I'm directly trying to keep the world together.
Yes. and she's not in the all-female scene.
Yeah.
Which, again, like I said, story-wise makes sense,
Circumstance-wise.
but it still kind of frustrated
But you
me.
could say that without her, well, I'm just gonna go for it. Without her sacrifice, they wouldn't have got to that scene.
Okay, it's true.
So
That's
she's
accurate,
there
yeah.
in spirit. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. But back to my point about lazy decisions, and to me means that the movie's going to be film lazy with
It's possible.
with fucking Ghost in the Shell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And like that's the same way that I thought of with the female Ghostbusters. It's what I think is happening with fucking the new Little Mermaid movie, because they're advertising so fucking hard that the mermaid is black, which nobody gives a damn about, but they're pretending like everyone cares.
Generate hype.
Yeah. And in my mind, they're doing that. If they're doing lazy decision making like that, then they're going to be making a lazy movie as well, in
it's
other
pandering.
aspects.
It's right. It's like taking a poll of everyone who goes to see a Disney movie, and after every Disney movie, they fill out a form. It's like, what would you like to see next? Black Ariel.
Black Ariel.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Done.
And like as a counterexample, fucking in Spider-Man 2 and 1, I suppose.
Which ones? Wait, there's like 3 different ones and twos.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland 1 and 2.
What's her name? Zendaya plays
Zenyatta.
Zenyatta plays Mary Jane.
Yeah.
But they
MJ.
didn't.
Excuse me. It's MJ. Okay. It's not James Bond, Ken. It's 007.
It's MJ. Fine, she plays MJ.
Yeah.
And they didn't advertise MJ as like, if you hate this character, then you hate black women. You know, they just let it happen, and that's how I knew.
That's because it was before Disney got their hand in the honeypot, so that was already done before them.
You mean Sony? Like,
yeah,
before
because Sony wasn't.
Yeah, but it still doesn't even matter, because like in my mind, I knew that with MJ being black and them not like being overly hype about it, that they're going to try to make a good story.
Yeah, because that's not a focal point. They're just changing the character.
Yeah, and I think she does a great job.
I think she's all right. I mean, it's a different take on MJ for sure.
It's a totally different take. Yeah. Like, she's nothing like the original MJ at all.
I think I liked, if I'm remembering correctly, the Far From Home movie. Not Far From Home, sorry, Homecoming. I think I liked her portrayal of MJ in that movie because she was more independent and confident. Yeah. As opposed to this movie where she seems to be crippled by the fact that she has the hots for Peter Parker.
Kind of.
You know what I mean? Like, it seems like I was saying, what I was saying to you when we went to go see it, where it's like every one of her responses is a sarcasm into negative, or I'm flustered and I got the hots for Peter Parker.
Wasn't she like that in the first movie?
She was, but again, she was more independent about it. Like, it was like that first scene where she was like, "Hey, dorks."
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, she's aggressive in a kind of confrontational way, but it's a joke. But she knows where the boundary is, and everything's chill by the end of it, even though she told you go fuck yourself. That's my kind of person that I like. But then the rest of the movie, she's like, not directly, but it felt like they were really trying to be like, this romance is not perpetuated merely by Peter Parker having the hots for MJ. She has the hots for him too, and they're both awkward because they both don't think that each other have the hots for each other, and it's like, okay, I get it, and I can appreciate that, but I feel like it was a detriment to her character, similar to how I was saying Into the Spider-Verse doesn't require Gwen Stacy and Miles Morales to be fucking each other for them to have a good relationship. You know what I mean? They can just be friends, and that is just as much appreciated as them sticking their dick in each other.
But now they're gonna stick their dick into each other.
I mean, that's fine,
forward.
That too,
but
we'll see where it goes. Hopefully they do it well.
That's kind of bothering me too about fuck now, because I want to stay on Spider-Man 2 and go to Far From Home.
We got to hit your news articles eventually too. So
yeah, well, I mean, we still got some time.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, I don't know. I liked MJ. The only thing that it's technically not out of left field because we know what's going to happen. But the attraction of MJ and Peter Parker to each other did, I would say, from a purely story perspective, did come out of left field, because like in the first movie that wasn't established at all.
They were doing a lot of flirting. Didn't he go to Homecoming with her?
I don't remember that.
I feel like that was the whole.
Did he? Like no, he went to with the other girl, didn't he?
I think it was her, or he went to like a party at her house or something like that. I remember there was some scene.
I don't remember this at all. Okay.
Well, we know there was a party at somebody's house, and then they were both going there, and he was like, "Are you going to this party?" And then I think they like left, the party together. Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember.
And
So maybe
like,
it didn't come
hang
out of
out.
left field.
So I
And
feel
I
like
just don't
they've been
remember.
kind of flirting with it for a while.
Okay.
Not directly, but in this movie, it's very much like it's on.
In this movie, it's clearly that
Yeah.
that it's on. Yeah, and yeah, they just bring in some other dude. Actually, can you explain this to me? This part didn't make sense to me.
What's that?
So after the blip, they
Yeah.
come back, and so that one guy who's the Asian dude.
Yeah.
Was he in the? He never disappeared.
No.
So
He
why is
aged.
he in this? Why is he in the same?
Because they say
Right.
that this. Okay, so I'm going to take a rough estimation of things, but this is how I'm going to say it. They were in their, let's say, grade 11th year or grade 11 year, but they were in like January.
Okay, yeah.
And then the blip happened.
Yeah.
Right? And then so what happened was when they came back, they made them start their grade 11 year back, like as if it's September, and they didn't do up until January. And this kid is now in grade 11 from 5 years ago.
But like, why wouldn't they just have him do school within that 5 years?
That's what I'm saying. The Asian kid,
Mm-hmm.
he did 5 years up to grade 11.
Yeah.
So instead of them all moving 5 years forward,
Yeah.
they stayed in grade 11 and he moved to grade 11.
Yes.
So now,
I see.
He aged up to their age.
So that's how that happened. So
And
he
then
was 5 years younger than them.
Yeah.
To begin.
And
Okay.
now they're in the middle of the school year, and they've been all like peers, and now he's got the hots for MJ.
Okay.
I don't think that he had the hots for MJ before that, and then kept it for 5 years. I think he just is of age now,
Yeah.
and he's one of the few people that like it's strange because he aged and nobody else did, kind of deal.
So that part kind of confused me because I'm just like, my understanding was that they all were the same age to begin with, and then
Everybody who went away for Thanos' thing, they lost 5 years of everybody else's time.
Yeah.
They are
stayed
still
the same.
5 years behind.
Yeah, they're 5 years behind.
age-wise.
Yeah. And I thought, my understanding was that he, like, during the blip, during the time they all disappeared, he was the same age as them, and then it was 5 years later, and I was so confused at, like, why he's still.
They showed that picture at the very beginning of the school news, and he's like the skinniest, tiniest little Asian kid, like how I remember being in like grade 8, and now he's in grade 11 or 12 or whatever.
And that's what they were talking about.
Yeah, and that's why he's like jacked and like he looks like he's 23, but you know, whatever. And Tom Holland's like 20 something too.
And apparently, like, one of their the students, like one of the students with them is like one of their teachers now or something like that too. I vaguely remember them.
Oh, is that the case?
I vaguely remember.
I missed that completely, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Not one of the teachers that's with them, but I remember them saying.
One of the teachers that works at the school was a kid that was like in grade 12 when the blip happened. Now
something
he's 24
like that.
and he's this teacher.
Yeah.
Okay, that's neat. I like little things like that.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, that I just wanted that cleared up because I was confused there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Is there any more entertainment shit you want to talk about?
Well,
for anyone that cares about my gaming habits, I've been playing lots of Smite and Siege, and we're getting better at Siege.
You're still not great.
I mean, I'm better than you, and that's a lot.
Yeah, that's not saying very much.
No, it's a lot.
I've played. Yeah, you know what? It is saying a lot to be better than me at Siege. I'm gonna go with that because I am fucking amazing at it.
See,
so if you're better than me,
1v1 me, bro. 1v1 me, Hereford base. Let's go. But you don't even know what I'm talking about right now.
But I said you're better than me. But it's saying a lot to be better than me because I'm fucking amazing. It's hard to be better than me.
Let's see, what do you got for me today?
It's 4 articles.
You got 4? Is it one of them like an actual article we're going to talk about and 3 are just a choice? Or is it all multiple choice?
No, we're going to talk about all of them, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you briefly talk about the 3 that are which one's fake.
Well, there's only one fake one.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Because sometimes you bring 3 and we do which one's fake, and then the 4th one is one we actually go in depth with.
Yeah.
So what is it this time?
We'll play by ear, whatever we want.
Okay.
It's always like that. Like I don't.
Well,
really
no,
have a set plan.
that one time that you brought it, I think
this is true. There was one time where I was just like, okay, this doesn't really fit.
But... And you wanted to talk about more in depth, so.
Okay. So, ready?
Sure.
Okay. Bud Light is offering free beer to any alien that makes it out of Area 51.
Okay.
All right. Narcissists storm Instagram offices over lost likes.
Okay.
Okay. Police officer admits using grieving family's cable TV account to buy porn.
Okay.
And Pennsylvania school district warns parents they could lose kids over unpaid school lunches.
I feel like we did that one already.
Did we? I don't remember that.
Read that one again, just...
Pennsylvania school district warned parents they could lose kids over unpaid school lunches.
I feel like I heard something about that vaguely, or maybe I'm just doing like association of something
Whatever.
else. But
We can bring.
hmm. What was number 2 again? Because I think that's the fake one.
Number 2 is
like the first one's fake, but it's fake in like a trolley sort of meme way.
Yeah.
I
think you could totally see companies doing that.
I can see that because it's like a like they don't have to agree to anything because what's going to happen? Nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like they're just going in on the meme. It's like Danny DeVito being like, they can't stop my Magnum dong. And like Keanu Reeves and everybody saying they're going to be in on it too. They're not going to go there.
And even if
they're going to be shooting a movie and making millions of dollars.
Even if they found aliens, like what alien is going to want beer?
You never know.
Okay, fine.
You never know. They might have a direct appreciation for barley. It might be a fine resource that no longer exists on their planet.
That's true. That could be very well the case. Okay, the second was narcissist storm Instagram offices over lost likes.
Yeah, I think that's fake, but go ahead.
Okay, is that your final answer?
I mean, if you want to read the rest of them.
Okay, all right.
Just go for a third one. Like the good old Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Read the answers again, all the questions again.
Okay. Police officer admits using grieving family's cable TV account to buy porn.
Totally plausible. I've seen police officers plant drugs on people and then tell them that they were selling meth. So totally unbelievable.
It's total scumbag police officer.
I've watched. We were watching Critical for a bit. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you were here for it. I think it was just me and Mel. But there was like this police officer show that he was watching that's like takes place in Florida, and they were pulling people over, and they were showing like this. I think it's 2 women, and he pulls them over, and he's like, smells like weed in the car, and they're like, no, I swear on my child's life that I never sold weed or anything like that. And then he goes into their like trunk, and he finds all these like bags lined with tinfoil, so they've obviously been like shoplifting. So it has nothing to do with the reason that they pulled him over. I saw one of the clips that they were showing that Critical was watching was they had made a makeshift shotgun with like a pole and a handle, and then you put one shell into it and you pop it in and it acts like a shotgun, and he found it in the guy's car.
Oh boy, that's highly illegal.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I would totally believe that a police officer is doing some greasy ass shit like that.
Okay.
And then the last one?
Pennsylvania school district warns parents they could lose kids over unpaid school lunch.
I mean, that just sounds stupid, but yeah, it's totally plausible. I'm going to still go 2 because it sounds like nothing and it sounds stupid.
Okay, so that's your final answer?
That's 2.
All right. You got it right this time.
Finally, after 5-6 episodes.
Yeah. I thought this one's going to be harder than last one, but hey, you got it.
No, because people don't have enough willpower to get up off their asses to go to headquarters and be like, I lost likes. They would just bitch about it, make a YouTube video. Woe is me, my likes are down.
Well, I was going to elaborate on that. It's not likes are down, but it's something Instagram did actually do. They removed
bot account likes?
No. They removed likes being visible, so you couldn't see them.
Oh, okay. So just in general, okay.
Yeah. So, because I don't know the details of it. Something like it was leading to negative feelings.
And it's sad that that's still the fake one too. But yet we're talking about it right now, like it's totally plausible and totally happened.
No, Instagram did actually.
I know I'm talking about that, but I'm saying like it's totally plausible that could happen because people are so fucking crazy nowadays.
So let's briefly go through it. I'm trying to think. Okay, so this is what one person supposedly said for this. Hey assholes, shouted one muscular young man while strangling an Instagram employee with his singlet. I don't know what a singlet is. It's like a single digit or something?
No, it's the you know the thing that like wrestlers wear?
Oh, like kind of like a wife beater sort of thing? Okay.
That's like a singlet.
All right. I need constant validation through social media, but more important, I need people to see how many likes my sick bod gets so people know I'm more attractive and therefore better than them. Let's see. What's another thing that somebody said? Fuck that mental health shit. I've got a picture of me in a bikini sipping cocktail that was worth at least 800 likes, and who knows, maybe I could secure a collab with some dodgy diet pills that are just harmful laxatives that fuck up your bowels.
All right.
I got one more quote here. What am I supposed to do? Enjoy that contrived lie as if it's genuinely some sort of treasured memory and not just an attempt to compete with people over who has the best life? Wailed one young woman before courageously adding a 20% discount code at the end of her speech.
Yeah, that's fake.
Yeah. All right. So what do you want to talk about?
Just go from the top.
All right.
It's easier.
All right. Bud Light offering free beer to any alien that makes it out of Area 51, which we more or less just went over, and it's
Yeah.
an insanely short article. So this was actually Bud Light realizing, I guess, they kind of fucked up.
Okay.
Because they first they first decide to be like meme by saying we'd like to be the first brand to formally announce that we will not be sponsoring the Area 51 raid. It's like every other celebrity's part of it and everything. So then they make this
they
tweet.
anti.
Yeah. Well, they said that they're not going.
That's what I'm saying. They're anti-support.
Yeah. And apparently a lot of people got pissed at that. I don't know how true that is, but they got enough publicity that they decided to change their tune, or maybe they planned it all from the start. Who fucking knows? However, the brand quickly backtracked off that alienating claim, saying, "Screw it, free Bud Light to any alien that makes it out."
I like that. Screw it.
And that's the part that makes me think that they kind of did it on purpose.
Yeah.
The company even went as far to make a label for its Area 51 special edition Bud Light. Greetings, Earthling. This is the famous Area 51. So it says this on the top of the can. So it says on the top of the can, this is the famous Area 51. Okay. We know of no space beer by any other life form which is brewed and aged to be more refreshing. I fucking hate this shit, man. It's funny, but I hate this shit. Our cryogenic aging produces a light-bodied space lager with fresh taste, a crisp, clean finish, and smooth drinkability. Take us to your leader. 4 drinks. Just putting a bunch of fucking buzzwords in there.
Yeah. I like how that the freaking marketing room for that was like, listen, even if we're wrong and we get called out and we have to supply free beer for the aliens, we'll have bigger problems than giving free beer to aliens. So just trust me on this one. The worst case scenario, we give free beer to aliens.
This is not so bad. This part of kind of questioning, it's just like this. So that's what they should have been thinking. But this part makes me think that they're like second guessing themselves on free beer for the aliens. They're like, okay, there's just one catch. And her Bush, whatever that, I can't pronounce that guy's name, is asking for 51,000 retweets to make it happen.
Oh.
It's like, why are you doing that?
Why that number of retweets too? It's such an odd number.
From what I see, they got about 51.8 thousand retweets.
So that's pretty close.
So no, they beat it.
They beat it.
Retweets beat it. It's just why, like I said, why ask for the retweets? Because like what you said is right. What's the worst case scenario?
Yeah.
They give free beer, and it's only to the aliens that make it out.
Yeah, it's not even to the people that are there.
Yeah.
Like if it was the people, then you'd probably be losing money, but it's going to be like what? Maybe 20, 30 aliens at most?
Something like that. And how many of them are going to have
actually be drinking?
Yeah. How many of them have a wheat deficiency on their
planet?
Be like,
no, dude, I got to be flying that plane out of here. I can't be drinking.
So fuck. That last bit is just a little bit confusing. Let's see. Police officer admits to using grieving family's TV account to buy porn, which I just thought was fucking hilarious. So the sad part is they don't say what gender, but this follows the death of their child. So, police officer has admitted to buying pornography at the home of a grieving family following the death of their child as he waited for the Undertaker to arrive. So the Undertaker is a wrestler, just so you know.
Yeah. Who's still operating, obviously.
And
as his side gig of being an Undertaker.
Yeah. So it's a funeral director, but yeah. Sorry.
How did he purchase, like, on what device? Did they specify? Like, was he downloading it on his phone and he just happens to be on the family's Wi-Fi? Or did he go on their, like, cable box?
I think it's on their cable box by the way they described it. Because it says here.
That's what I imagined it was. But it seems odd. Like, I was expecting it to be, like, he logged into their Netflix or something like that. You know what I mean?
Download it.
And, like, had his own separate account that he wasn't paying for.
No, he used their account.
Okay.
He used the homeowner's TV cable account to purchase access to pornographic channels, spending about $32.50 American.
I mean, it's not much, but it's kind of the act that's worse.
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
Let's see. He pleaded guilty to fraud at Westminster Magistrate Court on Tuesday. This is a European thing. So the reason they found out, because like you don't technically know who's charging these things.
Okay.
But the way they found out was the officer was the only person present at the property when the purchases were made.
Yeah, that's
So,
pretty suspicious.
yeah, didn't. He's not quite a ninja. Let's just say that
Yeah.
he's not good at covering his tracks. Um, let's see.
He didn't delete his LimeWire history before he watched all his porn.
Yeah, he probably should have done that. Delete that LimeWire history. Got to get rid of those viruses. And the reason he apparently like something like the family was out and he was guarding the property, so he just decided to download some porn on their behalf and watch it. Could you imagine like if your like child dies and like the first thing I guess you'd get it like a month or at least a week later, a bill for porn.
I mean, comfort porn, maybe, but like,
everyone
to
needs
find out that it
fucking
was
comfort
the
porn.
police officer supposed to be serving and protecting, not great.
He admitted his guilt under the weight of compelling evidence. I am sorry that the family involved had to deal with this while also coping with the tragic loss of their child.
Should have thought of that before you wanted to blow your load.
Before he wanted to blow his load on $32 worth of porn.
Yeah, apparently.
He lost his fucking career over $32 worth of porn. Especially when there's fucking tons of free porn out there.
Smart.
Yeah. And the last one is Pennsylvania school district warns parents they could lose kids over unpaid school lunches. So apparently the unpaid school lunches have totaled around $20,000.
Oh, okay.
So it's not as petty as it seems.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, but it's still kind of petty. 4 parents owed at least $450 apiece.
Damn.
I don't know why they're going after these parents like this, like trying to take their kids away. It's just like if they're not,
I guess it's the idea that if you can't pay for their school lunches and you're not fit to be a parent to take care of them.
Yeah, but like if you don't have the money for it, like you're not gonna be able to do it.
Yeah.
Really, the government should be taking care of this.
It seems strange that they would still be served. You know what I mean? Like if I didn't pay for a hot lunch, you get nothing.
Yeah.
Bring your own fucking lunch or nothing.
I don't know how it is for schools because I can't remember. I remember whenever there were days where the school fed us, we did have to pay.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And it was like usually you pre-buy it or whatever, right?
Yeah, you pre-buy it. I also went to the Boys and Girls Club a lot, and it was the same thing there.
Yeah.
So where
you fill out a little sheet. How many slices of pizza do you want?
Yeah.
2. Cheese and pepperoni. Okay, this is what you get when it arrives.
Pretty much. That place was fucking cheap though. It was something like $10 per kid per year.
Oh yeah, for a Boys and Girls Club, but that's just to get in.
Yeah,
it's not including like all the activities if you do anything outside.
It
covers most things.
It covers most things.
They have all the things on facility, like the basketball courts, or for the teen room when they had like computers and TV and shit like that.
Yeah,
but there's still some extra things like the hot lunch. If they would ever do that, you'd have to pay extra for that.
I think it was like $1
but
or something.
The initial price point for the Boys and Girls Club is pretty
fucking
good.
Steal.
I remember just going there and like doing nothing and chilling. Yeah, playing foosball for 2 hours.
To kill time or something. But there was one time when we were there and like these people were quote unquote renting the gym. Yeah. And to rent the gym for a night, you had to pay $5. Yeah. And all these people had like Mercedes and stuff, and by the end of the night they were fighting with the guy working there, saying that they didn't want to pay the $5. It's just $5 fucking dollars, man.
So lame.
I think I can't remember, maybe 12 or something at the time, and even I was just like, I could have paid that.
Yeah.
Fucking like, holy shit, bunch of idiots.
Is there anything of note in there?
The district officials didn't think sending that letter out saying that we're going to take your kids away if you don't pay what you owe was threatening.
I wasn't expecting that to be the end of that sentence, but
yeah, they thought it was a nice letter just to say, hey, you got to pay what you owe. We're going to fucking come after your kids.
I don't think a school district can enforce that kind of law.
No, but they can like go to they can probably go to Child Protective Services and just be like, hey, these people are being neglectful, you know?
Yeah, and then they'll have to do an assessment or whatever.
Yeah, at the very least there's gonna be an audit, and you know, like the end result of that is some kids are probably gonna lose. Like,
did you say it's $20,000?
That's how much the school
total.
Yeah,
because you said 4 people for $450.
Well,
roughly.
they're saying that's
like, 900 times 2, 1,800. That's not even close to 20,000.
They're saying what when I said the 4 parents owe at least $450 apiece, they're saying that like these are single cases that are just really high amounts.
Oh, okay, and then it's like everybody is missing some money. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But the school is trying to collect more than $20,000.
Do they say? Does the article specify where in Pennsylvania and what the economy is like over there? If it's like a ghetto?
I'd imagine it's not the greatest place on earth if it's like that. like I said, I think that they should just go after the government for this money.
Yeah.
Because like fucking
Government wants to fucking care about kids so goddamn much to feed them.
yeah. They don't care about the kids that live here. They just care about the kids in concentration camps. Actually, no, it's the other way around, I guess, because the government is keeping those kids in concentration camps. For the coming year, the district will qualify for funding to provide free lunches to all students.
Oh, they're trying to cash in before the fucking thing gets wiped.
Yeah, that might be it, actually.
Yeah.
Because like once the free lunches are provided, then that
like,
bill is probably gone.
You could take that to a judge, and they're going to be like, "Yeah, but they're getting free stuff now. It's subsidized by the government." Yeah, well then don't worry about it. You survived now, so you can survive.
I just wonder, like this has to be at worst only affecting that school for the current year. There's no way that affects it for the next year, because then their funding would be like they would get new funding, right?
Theoretically, yeah. It might be that the students have been there for a couple of years and it's compounded, possibly with 20,000.
20,000.
I mean, I guess a big enough school, but even our high school, let's say,
it wouldn't amount to 20,000.
But there's like 3,000 students.
So if let's say
20,000 divided by 3,000 students.
That is possible,
that's like,
I suppose.
I mean, that's not a lot, but if you're saying like some people owe like 450, that'll mean that like
be a little bit more.
A few more students actually paid.
That'd be like $7 a student.
20,000 divided by 3,000.
It's gonna be a little under seven. It's gonna be like 6 point something. Is it $6
exactly? repeating.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's going to be like 6.7. That's what I figured.
For each student. So that's
and that's assuming every single student didn't pay.
But even at our school, that would mean that literally that for them to be missing $20,000, it would mean that once, just once at our school, every student would get a free lunch.
Yes, yeah.
Theoretically.
Although they did say with the parents owing $450, like those 4 parents that owe $450, there's no way that that each year that each parent is required to pay $450.
Oh yeah, right? No, that's what I'm saying. I think
so
it might
has to be compounded. Yeah,
like
you might
your
be
student's
right.
Their child's been there for 3 years, and every year it's been like 75. So
chances are the school's just trying to collect on debt that the government has already paid them off.
No, it's probably debt that they actually are feeling, but then they're about to get funding from the government to make all that shit go away.
But they just want to get that money right now.
Exactly, because they probably won't be able to collect on it once they start getting government funding.
Yeah, that's certainly possible. Fucking scamming assholes, right?
Yeah.
So those are my 4 articles. Congratulations, you got it right.
Finally.
1 out of 5.
It's gonna fucking be a streak I was never gonna get, dude. Well, maybe started adding more too. It's fucking breaking me over here.
Well, maybe this will be your winning streak. I'm rooting for you.
Maybe.
It's no skin off my back whether you get it or not. You're more than welcome to play this game with me at some point.
I was trying to think of something, but I don't want to just rip off that concept. But I was trying to think of something that would work for you because you're also not as informed on particular things. So
yeah, no, I'm not.
I'm trying to think of like movies or something or some obscure ass thing, but I'm trying to figure out what way to to pick. Like, should I pick like obscure ass video games or obscure ass movies or something that I know you haven't seen?
But then ask me what about them? Like, which one is real or
give you like a short synopsis of the movie and then tell me which one's a fake one that I just made up.
Or you could just give me a short synopsis.
Because there's a lot of crazy ass movies out there with crazy ass. I guess that wouldn't be too bad because then that would give you a couple of suggestions, and if any of them sounded interesting, you'd want to watch that.
Well, you could give me a short ass synopsis and then let me play multiple choice which movie it belongs to.
Oh, that might not be too bad.
Yeah. Although then you have to just be careful with the synopsis you give and the title of the movie.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that part might be kind of hard. Sometimes
you just give it away.
You would be smart enough to choose titles that were
ambiguous enough.
Yeah.
Or at least descriptions that are ambiguous enough.
Yeah.
Or leave details out.
Yeah, leave enough details out so that it accurately describes the movie, but doesn't won't let me know that that's the movie for certain sort of thing. You know? Yeah. I have a trigger. Tons of triggers, but
okay. You want to throw one out?
Yeah, I do. So this has happened to me a bunch of times when I was streaming, and it used to work. But I mean, lately, at least I don't think this would work anymore. But because I've gotten kind of pissed off at it, because something similar happened to my sister, but she wasn't streaming.
Okay.
Somebody trying to use suicide as a way to get leverage on you.
Okay.
So somebody just being like, if you don't do this, I'm gonna kill myself.
Who's watching your streams that would even remotely do that?
I forgot what his name was, but there was when I was streaming, there were some people that would do that.
Oh, really?
And it actually made me feel bad.
No, Jesus.
Yeah.
Was it like consistent viewers or just someone who would pop in? Like
It happened a couple times, I remember, but there was
I do remember there was one time when I was watching where you were trying to like not necessarily talk someone down, but they were like talking kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now if it happened, I've just gotten a little bit more cynical since then, and I would probably just tell them to kill themselves.
Yeah.
Because, like, I've just come to the conclusion that, like, if somebody is actually suicidal, they're not going to be advertising it to the world and trying to gain leverage. Like, that just didn't occur. Like, that thought didn't occur to me at the time, even though I had experienced, like, those kinds of thoughts before.
Yeah.
So, like, but my sister recently, like, some guy apparently told her that, like, if you don't go out with me, then I'm gonna kill myself. I just told her just to tell him to kill himself.
Yeah.
He's not gonna actually do it and I told her that same thing. You know, if somebody's actually suicidal, they're not gonna tell you.
Well, that's a different scenario when it's like you're doing it to, like, I feel like that specific example is more likely to actually happen, where someone like is out of touch and romantically, and then kills himself because they can't be with that person romantically.
Whatever.
I feel like that's more of a scenario that happens.
Anybody who does that is a huge scumbag and should die.
Well, that's a fair opinion you have. But I will say, yeah, I do agree that most, if not all, people who are legitimately going to kill themselves, like I was a few weeks ago or a month ago or whatever, when Etika killed himself, the YouTuber, or I guess whatever platform he was using.
A little bit, yeah. You're talking about the person who did it for Critical's artist, or somebody else?
No. It was this guy named Etika.
Oh, okay.
He's a black dude.
Oh, fuck, I know. Okay,
Itiko,
all right, yeah. This was like a month ago, yeah.
Yeah, I watched his like farewell suicide video. His I'm sorry, and that's a person who's like, he's already tapped. He's just doing a video to be like, this is my last little note or whatever. But he's not asking for help in that video. He's done. Like he's tapped the floor. He knows he's about to walk to his death. He's already gone. Similar to like the terrorist at the ICE thing. Basically everyone knew that he was like going there to commit suicide, quote unquote.
Yeah, he was
by
super
getting killed.
Unstable.
Yeah, he was already like ready to go. So he was giving his last moment to do something with his life, similar to Etika. They're not going to advertise that shit. They're just going to go do it.
They're just going to do it.
I feel like that's most people who are going to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Most people aren't asking for help. People who are asking for help don't want to be talked out of it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah. But anybody who tries to use suicide as a form of leverage,
they're an asshole.
They should like just fucking kill themselves.
I can understand if you're unstable and you're having issues, and I'm sympathetic to that, but like to manipulate other people through guilt, it's like, it's one thing when homeless people do it on the street to try to guilt you, but you still have the chance to like choose whether or not you want to act. But when someone's aggressively coming to you on your stream, which is generally supposed to be a chill environment,
do this for me or I'm gonna kill myself.
It's very manipulative, very unstable way of thinking.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, at this point in time in my life, I would just tell them to go kill themselves.
Well, some people I do call their bluff because I'm like, do it.
Yeah,
do it.
It's like, I mean, I would imagine like 99% of cases for suicide, most people are not going to advertise it.
Yeah, they just do it.
Fuck those people. So specifically, just so we're clear on what my fucking trigger is, it's people who use suicide for leverage. Okay?
Yeah, as a manipulative
It's
thing.
not all suicidal people. I mean, fuck those people as well.
So in other words, fuck me, but yeah.
Yeah, fuck you. All right.
I guess if I'm just going to chime in at all for my trigger, it would be back what I was saying before with the recent zeitgeist of people sitting on the sidelines telling other people to go be martyrs.
Oh yeah,
that's my like recent trigger, because I was really salty about that throughout the week. I might be calm now, but I was like, you motherfucking assholes, you're this fucking garbage. You want other people to go do your dirty work so you can live in the revolution.
Fucking go do it, you pussy.
And similar to what I was saying before, like all those people that are asking for fucking a revolution, it's like, you want to raise kids in that fucking reality? No, shut the fuck up then, because you're a fucking piece of shit to make other people's kids live in that reality.
I'm gonna start adding these lists of people to that list of people I was for the rocket that I'm gonna shoot to the sun.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna just shove
We're
all
gonna
these
talk with
people in
Elon
there.
Musk and get a rocket.
Yeah, I think Elon Musk would be down for this.
He's got an extra rocket or two lying around,
He's got it
just
somewhere.
chilling.
Just like in that movie, where they're trying to fly to the asteroid to blow it up.
Oh, Armageddon.
Yeah, and the first rocket doesn't make it. Is that right? And then
I think so.
somebody just has a second rocket like lying in their backyard.
I can't remember where the other rocket comes from, but yeah,
It's so along the lines of that. Like that's Elon Musk. He has that other rocket just in his backyard somewhere, and we're just gonna fly
just
that
lying
to the
around.
sun.
Like it's under here somewhere, under these like trash bags and stuff. I don't know where it is.
You just have to find it. Yeah, yeah. So that's what Elon Musk is gonna do, and then we're gonna just fly all these people into the sun.
Yeah,
Make the world a better place.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Or just leave room for more problems and more idiots.
Yeah. I hope the problems will be more nuanced, though.
Unlikely. Too many people with too many points of view. So there's going to be always some quote unquote extremist in any type of variation. You could have anime extremists, but they're totally chill in real life. You could have political extremists, but they're totally chill when they play video games. There's extremists everywhere.
Well, I mean, we're extremist alt-right Nazis. So,
yeah, obviously.
I mean, like
I like to agree with multiple points of view. Nazi.
Yeah.
Why don't you stop rounding up Jews and shooting them in the head in the streets? Oh, yeah, I'm just going to give up the thing that I love the most. Oh, yeah, just for you.
Yeah. We just want to just line up all the Jews in the streets and just shoot them all. Ben Shapiro goes first.
Yeah. No, he's the one shooting everybody. He's the Nazi.
He's the Nazi.
Yeah.
So he's going to be shooting all the Jews.
He's like the field commander that's like giving the order. We're just the guys holding the guns.
Got it. Okay. And
we're just doing what we're told.
Yeah. All those fucking black conservatives, those are also fucking alt-right Nazis.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to white the nationalist state. Fucking hell.
Yeah. Does black conservatives want a white ethno state?
Yeah, that's what's going on.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly directly supporting racism and Nazism.
But just to be clear, we're the ones with the warped sense of reality,
Yeah.
okay? Just so we're all on the same page here.
Are we good? You feeling it?
I need to fucking get those cardboard papers like I keep thinking to do and forgetting.
For what?
So it's been so long. So this was an idea you had, which I thought was brilliant for the podcast.
Oh, the meat signs?
Yeah.
The go and stop.
The go and stop sign, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I bought those like a month and a half ago or something.
Are they color coded?
Well, I bought it like just a stack of like cardboard paper.
Yeah.
I haven't cut them out yet, but there's like red, there's green, there's whatever, there's a bunch of colors.
And these things
it's
glue
a fucking
together.
$1.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking that we would just have 2 cards, so like, you'd have a green.
Too much bullshit, but okay. It's a good start.
Yeah. And
I was thinking like a beer coaster. Just flip it over.
Just flip it over.
Yeah, like I said, it's like the Brazilian meat thing. It's like yes, please, more meat.
Okay.
And then no, I'm full.
All right,
no, I changed my mind.
And then over like a year, we could just see how dirty it's gotten.
Yeah.
From the
well, we don't have to actually use them for coasters, but that might not be a bad
great.
idea.
I think it'd be great if we use them for coasters.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It'd be like something that's part of the podcast, you know?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. All right. Well, as per usual, I opened, so you. No, do you have any words of wisdom?
I do, but I'm gonna do an easy poll, and I'm still gonna think of better ones. But this one's gonna be easy poll for everybody.
Okay.
So, are you ready to end? Like I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna be done.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Ready? Smoke weed every day.
All right. Yeah. Terrible advice, but all right.
Go fuck yourselves. Have a good night.
Go fuck yourselves. Bye.